Closed captioning is brought to you by Bodog. Be a player.
Well, we're heading into the stock saw challenge right now, where a couple of Echo CS600 stock saws are being provided. These saws are about 59.6 cc's. In total, we had 6 heats of 2 competitors. Starting off with Sarah and Matt Waterfield, a couple of people relatively new into the sport, but the Waterfields, led by Nathan Waterfield, into the sport with his wife Holly. Matt Waterfield is a captain in the U.S. Army, and here's his wife. Husband and wife team, you ever battled each other on a chainsaw?
My wife hasn't grabbed hold of a saw in a long time, but this will be a great race with Sarah and Matt, both fairly new with the sport, but Sarah looks like she's done this for a while.
She got to the wood really quick, and Matt Waterfield finishes cut. He misses the cut coming up right there. They got to do 2 cuts within 4 inches, and he was trying to go too thin to win.
Yeah, fair. Look at that. Finishing off, great time, 14.6 seconds.
Sarah, you're going against your husband there, and I heard a comment after that victory that it's going to be a long drive home. Is that true?
Yes, we like teasing each other, though. It's good fun to just compete against each other and just be competitive with one another. So he's new to it this year, and this is my 2nd year competing at this level, so the fact that we were able to do this together was really good.
Now, the judge let you away with this here. It's pretty thin there. Were you aware that how close you are to?
I realized how close I was on the bottom there, but after I saw it fall, I was like, oh, but I got lucky.
John, just explain to me exactly what the rule is on stock saw and what is a complete disc, what isn't.
Okay, a complete disc obviously is one piece. Now you can see here there's a little flat on the edge. We call that, it's almost a cutout. If it was a 1/2 inch, to complete the radius, if it was more than a 1/2 inch, it's not good, but this will work on this one. Because you can see that the disc is 1/8 of an inch thick, so they did actually cut the wood. It's just when it's so thin like that, the vibration of the chain sometimes knocks out those last few crumbs.
Well, I followed his instruction there. That's John Maynard, our head judge for the competition here today. Now, I'm not so sure, Rod, if all events and all competitions, they're going to let you get away with that.
That's right. Actually, it all depends on the judging and what they consider a complete disc or not. Up in Canada, they'd throw you out for that because the disc is not complete.
Well, a disqualify she did not get, and right now, Sarah Waterfield leads away with a 14.69 with the hit in heat number 2. Brian Wamsley taking on Mark Jones, and Brian Wamsley, he misses his upcut.
That's right, and he's almost pulled the saw back too far and never got a complete cut there, but 12.4 seconds is what Mark Jones clocks in at.
Well, 3 100ths per second separate these two guys, but what happens here? He's got 4 inches, and he misses the cut again.
That's right. Again, just being a little bit too aggressive. It's hard to see the bottom of the wood and see where that saw is actually touching.
And once again, John Maynard has let him get away with that right now. So 12.44 is the time to beat by Brian Wamsley. It is now the new time to beat. We're going into our heat number 3. We got Nathan Waterfield taking on Chris Bradshaw. They're watching the judge. They know they can get away with a little bit here.
That's right. So when you know that the judge isn't going to be really strict, you know you can take some chances, and you may actually get away with some of that.
Well, Waterfield was lightning quick to the wood. Chris Bradshaw not quite so quick, and Chris Bradshaw missing his upcut.
Actually, both guys, Nathan had a hard time starting on his second cut as well, but he's off in 12.45 seconds.
You had a real good start there, quick to the wood, but what happened when you try and stuff the upcut there?
Just a bit quick on my switch and really stuffed it into the wood. If this were white pine, it might have been more appropriate, but tulip poplar is a little bit harder, so I stuffed the saw very hard into the cut, and yeah, I had to let up and then try and play catch up then. So still hit a knot even after all that messing around in the block, but whatever, yeah.
Well, you won that heat, but bogging it down there might cost you a little bit of money.
I'm pretty sure I'll be out of it.
Yeah, so Nathan Waterfield traveling all the way down from New York down to Tennessee here. He's got a couple things going against him. Number 1, using a brand new chainsaw. Number 2, not being used to sawing yellow poplar.
Well, the time to beat is still 12.44, set by Brian Wamsley. We know for sure Koger's going to win this heat. We got Matt Koger on the right, Arden Koger Jr. on the left-hand side.
That's right. Both guys, these guys are cousins, are related. Chop and saw together all the time down in West Virginia. And look at the young fella taking Jamie to school here in the stock saw.
Matt Koger comes off with a time of 10.47, lowers the time to beat considerably. Taking on Uncle Jamie, or cousin Jamie. Now, Jamie's pretty flawless here. 11.65 is a good time.
That's right. Not bad at all. Jamie's actually, his technique is even pretty good. He's just, the big thing here is, again, listening to the RPMs, making sure the saw is running as fast as it possibly can in the wood.
Now, I noticed a little bit of a knot there. Might have slowed him down by maybe 100ths of a second, maybe 2 100ths of a second. At any extent, we got Dave Jewett taking on Dan Duncan. Dan Duncan from Kentucky. Dave Jewett, one of those upstate New York guys.
That's right, down here again, battling both those odds, the saw and the wood. But Dave Jewett, world-class competitor, misses his start just a bit, grabbing at that chainsaw, but you watch Dave pull it out here in the end.
And Dan Duncan, he obviously hit the switch to turn the chainsaw off. Dave Jewett does a fantastic time, comes in with 11.39. Dave, I know you're frustrated there. Stock saws often down to tenths or hundredths a second, and that little mishap at the beginning is going to cost you.
Yeah. I'm pretty much make every mistake possible in the stock saw this year, and I never repeat the same one. So I hadn't missed the handle yet. So yeah, it's frustrating. I'm keeping it together right now. Yeah, it's frustrating.
I mean, your cut was good. You were in the wood, and your switchover was really clean as well.
Yeah, I had a good switch, but then you have to get to the wood fast. You have to, and yeah, and I think part of it, I just cleaned off my axes. I had a little grease on my hand, and when I just didn't help to grip the handle real well. So I'm the worst at the stock saw. So
Dave Jewett being real tough on himself there, but actually if you watch his technique, Dave Jewett is flawless when it comes to the stock saw. A lot of guys are rocking the bar back and forth in this. Dave Jewett keeps the bar on the same plane the whole way down through, the whole way up through. He's not wasting a bit of that.
Well, you got to keep the chain in the wood if you wanted to cut, that's for sure. We got Mike Sullivan taking on Mel Lenz in this last heat, and 10.47 at the time they're trying to track down by Matt Koger.
That's right. These guys, both world-class hot sawyers. They're going at it here head-to-head in the stock saw. It's going to be Mike Sullivan winning this heat with 10.5.
And Matt Koger wins the stock saw with Mike Sullivan coming in second. Mike, you were quick to the wood, and that's obviously the key in stock saw, but you got to keep her going full throttle all the way.
Yeah, you got to be quick to the wood, and then you got to kind of feel the saw. It's the first time for a lot of us running this, style of saw, and just the first cut I was a little bit heavy on it, but the second one I got it because I could feel it coming up through the wood. It come up really quick on the second one, so it's a kind of a feeling out process, really. But if you run it more and more, you run it, as soon as you don't have to feel it out, you know what pressure to put on it.
Bill, like you mentioned, world-class competitors here in Tennessee. Only a little over a second separating the top 5 places in the stock saw. Matt Koger coming out on top with a 10.48 seconds.
And our crown pivotal point is Dave Jewett in the stock saw, who in the interview says, "I never do well in the stock saw." Well, a little bit of grease on his hands caused him to miss the handle, and it cost him valuable seconds. He had 11.39, giving him only 4th place and 25 points in the overall standings.
Well, it's no surprise to see Mike Sullivan, Koger, Lentz, and Jewett on the leaderboard. But what is a surprise is a young fella, Matt Koger, leading the way right now with 250 points.
What a great start to the competition here in the Smoky Mountains. We have some of the best athletes in all the United States. Come back again next week featuring the axe throw, the women's single buck, and the standing block chop on Lumberjacks.
Lumberjacks is sponsored by Echo, professional quality, ask any pro. Crown, protect, maintain, save. Bodog, be a player. Red Pine Wilderness Lodge, simply unreal fishing.
Thank you, dear. Can I help you, sir? Thank you very much. Have a good day.